Donald Trump had a rough week. Friday, he was hit with a more than $350 million penalty for fraud in New York. So how did he spend the weekend? By going to a sneaker convention in Philadelphia to promote his new Trump-branded sneakers. They are painted gold. They are named Never Surrender High Tops. I can't make this up, guys. And they sell for just under $400. And if you're curious, the average price of a pair of sneakers is around $130. The shoes, they aren't even made by a Trump company, actually, but he does likely get a cut of the revenue because of a licensing agreement, something Trump finds himself in need of more and more these days. Joining me now is Jennifer Palmieri, former White House Communications Director for President Obama, and Mark McKinnon, former advisor to both George W. Bush and John McCain. Both were co-hosts of Showtime's The Circus. Good to see you both. Mark, these shoes, they were reportedly sold out within hours, actually. What do you make of this?
Well, I think I make a lot of what's in the name. It was called the Sneaker Con. And Don went to the Sneaker Con to hawk sneakers to help pay for his legal bills. I mean, this is a guy that likes to compare himself to Abraham Lincoln. Can you imagine Abe Lincoln hawking, Abe Lincoln high tops? It's just incredible. Well,
I cannot.
If this is what he's got to do to pay his legal bills, I guess it tells you something. But I don't know a lot of people that are looking for a president that's hawking shoes, but maybe there are a few out there, at least enough to sell out the ones that they had.
And we don't even know what sold out means, right? How many do they even make? These are antics, Jennifer. And Donald Trump's base, they love these antics. The base, about 35, maybe 40% of Republican Party apparatus. But let's talk about independent voters. We are barreling towards the general election as we get ready to shift. I don't think independent voters necessarily look favorably upon these types of antics, especially when he's been accused and variably and the grift has been verified in other ways prior to this.
Yeah, and it is, it was such a tell, Simone, when he talked about the sneakers on Saturday night, that he was definitely doing it to pay for his legal bills, because he was going on and on to congratulate the team that he had that had been working on the sneakers for a very long time. This has been in the works for a very long time. Anytime he's congratulating somebody else or people who work for him and goes on and on about something, he's super defensive. This is obviously a move that he did to try to pay for his legal bills. And it's the E. Jean Carroll decision. It's the New York State decision that's going to cost him $450 million, the 91 indictments. We haven't even really started the first criminal trial yet. That's going to be going on. And then, over the course of the next 6 months, and you can see this starting to pile on top of him. And yeah, independent voters, this is not what they're looking for. Sneakers or 91 perfume. Indictments against perfume, 91 indictments, none of it.
None of that. I mean, there is an election, Mark, speaking of it, South Carolina's Republican primary. It is this Saturday. This is Nikki Haley's home state. She has won it before. But how bad are the optics if Donald Trump racks up a big win there? She just has said previously she just has to improve, not win.
I think she's prepared for that outcome, and I think that she's prepared to go on as long as she can accumulate any delegates. And listen, the longer she stays standing, I think the shorter Donald Trump looks in his stature, because she is, the longer she's in the game, she's toughening up, and she's getting truer and truer every day in what she's saying and willing to say about him. There's a lot of Republicans out there who are looking for a different alternative than Donald Trump. Yes, he has a very strong base, but there's a lot of people on an island. And right now, Nikki Haley's the captain of that island. And, she's providing an alternative. And I think it's smart for her to go ahead and stay in as long as she can. She's still raising money. She's making a lot of sense for a lot of people that are very hungry for her message right now.
Okay, Jennifer, Nikki, there's a lot of people on this island. Nikki Haley, the question is, are there enough people on that island for Nikki Haley to amass the delegates that she needs? And I mean, because she does continue to break with Trump, right? Like this weekend, she actually declined to say if she'd vote for him if he becomes the nominee. Is that going to help her in this primary fight? And is it going to be enough?
No, I mean, I think that she, I think that her strategy, and I know that she has a speech tomorrow at Clemson, which I believe is her alma mater, to
Hmm.
talk about the future of the race. Sometimes people use that kind of language when they're getting ready to drop out. I think she's probably getting ready to to do that, although that seems unlikely. But to
Yes.
articulate what the reason is for why she is staying and what she's trying to achieve. I think that, she cannot mathematically, it's very difficult for her to make any sort of indent here. But if she stays in through South Carolina, through Super Tuesday, she's able to accrue some delegates. And then if something, and if convictions start to come in, Trump's or just the trials even wear on Trump, she's there to make a stand when the Republicans go to Milwaukee for their convention in July. All of that is very unlikely. I do think it helps Biden for her to continue to be in. I think it's helpful for Republicans to hear a message from a true Republican that is anti-Trump, that's calling them out on siding with Putin, for example. I think that does help. So the longer she stays in, I think that it is good for Biden.